Heaven. Here we have it, everybody. This is Tycoon with it, and this is Thinking and Speaking in Yes. So, yes, we are keeping up with our talks about heaven, right? We went over that heaven's a particular vibration, yes. Heaven's a word, heaven's a mindset, heaven's also a place, yes. And so we were going to talk about heaven as a place. So when we talk about heaven as a place, as we see, we have a scene here, yes? And this scene is composed of, in simple terms, yes, it is composed of atoms, yes? And so when we talk about scenes, we talk about scenes composed of atoms, yes? And the wonderful thing about atoms is there are rules to where they sit and how they sit, yes? And we comprehend those rules, yes? What's the only thing that takes shape here? Vibrations. Yes. So the the vibrations in the ether, right? That vibration is heaven, right? And in different parts of the everywhere, yes, you have different vibrations that are actually the standard vibration in the ether. Yes. This is how you build these stationary states, right? Yes. So when we talk about heaven as a place, we talk about all the heavens. How many heavens are there? Yes? How many heavens are there? Right? I just say to myself, I talk to myself, right? Like, there are so many that it seems like it's infinite, right? Like, but it's finite. It's just really big. Yes? Like, and you take into the fact that these are 3D states that you're flying through and having an experience. Yes? You can do the same one more than once. So when you take that into fact, you can be in heaven forever. Yep, be in heaven for an eternity, right? You're going to live longer than more than one eternity, but you can be in heaven for one eternity, right? Or many eternities, yes? Because when we talk about the number of heavens that there are, right? When we talk about the states of the everywhere, yes, we can easily visualize all the states of the everywhere by visualizing every atomic arrangement that can be. Yeah? And so you can see that if you were to have a state, right, a set, yes, and inside of this set was every geometric permutation of atomic arrangement, right? You get the everywhere, yes? So when we're talking about those particular geometric arrangements, yes, we got to go down to the ether because the ether is going to tell them, right, how they sit, right? The fractal scale is going to tell them where they sit, yes? And the fractal scale is, I would say, yes, just the etheric compression, right? It compresses as a fractal, and in each one of these compression levels is just a different heaven, yes, right? So you have a gigantic swath of the everywhere that is in the influence of the vibration of heaven. And remember, the definition of heaven is a grand clue because dictionaries are the spiritual books, yes? And so the grand clue, heaven is defined as a state of utmost happiness. Yes? So the very vibratory acting or actions going into the ether and existing as the steady state of the ether is utmost happiness. Yes? And so all the atomic arrangements inside of that particular etheric field are the atomic arrangements of heaven. Yes? Because the atomic arrangements are going to be, they'll be going all the way down through the scales and all the way up through the scales to the cosmos. Yes? In all of those different fractal gradient patterns, there are different types of heaven. Yes? And so you get taught these ideas on heaven when you go to church, but we all, yes, that church is where the fiction is, right? If we're looking for truth, we're looking for actions, we must go to the physics book. Yes. If we're looking for truth, we must go to the chemistry book. Yes. if we're looking for truth, we must go to the dictionary and remember that there are laws that define how to define a word. So sometimes you will find words that violate the laws and how you define a word, and you must throw that out because it is a fallacy. Yes? And so, in the same way, we used to think that heaven was this thing, yes? But then we comprehend through our study of physics and metaphysics that the multiverse is real, that the everywhere is real, that the states of heaven are real, and they are real like this life, right? And how many are there? So many. So many, it seems infinite, right? And so you ask yourself the question, yes? How many anti heavens are there? Same number, but same number. You can get lost in there for eternity. You better watch yourself, yes? Yes. So, yes, this is also a heaven aspect of the eternal everywhere. Yes? And thank you for letting me be the one to let you remember where we all came from and what we're doing in eternity, yes? Making that heaven. Heaven, heaven. And I love you all.